And most of us, as much as we hate to admit it, we're just not that important that organizations are going to fail without us. You know what I'm saying? Like, despite what your boss might tell you, like, they'll be fine. Everything will be fine. The world's not going to fall apart. Like, don't forget about you. Put things in the proper perspective. Your perception is, I gotta do this. I gotta stay up late and get up early and do everything. And it's like, no, you don't. No, you
really don't.
Relax. You're not that important. Let's dive right into it. We're recording again. Good evening, Ken. Good night.
Good evening, Fenton. It is 10:32 p.m. Wow.
It's nighttime. Life has been lifing. We've both had our set of issues and not been able to record for a minute, but we're back. Feels good, honestly. I miss it.
Yeah,
so I'm excited. Let's get into it. This is Products of Circumstance, everyone. This is the podcast with Ken Skeen and myself, Fenton Joseph. We are two best friends who discuss mental health and mindset matters through the lens of Black men. We're here to share our personal development journeys with you in hopes that you might get something out of it. And please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. This show is unscripted, it's unfiltered. And Ken's going to tell us what we're going to talk about.
Let's talk about something that's been on my mind for about a week or so. I've been doing some research on, which is perception versus perspective.
Yeah.
Perception and perspective.
I
wish I was more prepared. Sorry, I'm not. I've been doing the family thing all day, and anyone who has children, I got 4 of them here. And it ain't easy being breezy, right?
I've still got the throw up on my shirt. So,
but perception and perspective, right? So what we perceive is in our world, right? What I perceive is what I see in my world, my surroundings, the things I love, dislike, cherish. I like using the word hate, but whatever I perceive, right? That's what I see in my world. So if I think that color is blue, that color is blue. And no one's going to tell me differently. That's perception. Perspective, which people sometimes mix with empathy. Be empathetic, but not see someone's perspective, by the way. So empathy is when you can understand someone's emotions, right? In a loose definition. And people can mix those two. Perspective is what the rest of the world sees. So I might see myself as someone who's very outgoing and genuine and loving and caring and a leader, but that's my perception of myself. Perspective for someone looking in could say, "Oh, that Ken's an a-hole." You know, when's the last time he helped me? When's the last time he showed me emotion? When's the last time? So that's perspective. I feel need to, and again, this is my opinion. I am not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist, but we as people need to start looking at perspective more than perception, because we are the characters in our own story, right? We're the main character in our own stories, and that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to understand people more and be genuinely there for someone, like, you know, I consider Fenton one of my best friends, brother from another mother. But for me to actually understand and really relate, I'm going to see from perspective, not perception. Am I going in circles right now?
I'm be honest with you. I don't know if I'm smart enough to understand the difference between perception and perspective. So let me read back to you what I wrote down in my mental notes, and then we'll see if we're on the same page. So, like, perception is how somebody else, their impression of you, of a situation, of the world around them. That's the impression that's been made upon them. And perspective, this is the part where I struggle, because when I think of perspective, I think of, this is how somebody sees the world. This is how they see the issue. This is how they see you. So I struggle a little bit with the nuance there. But, you know, I didn't go to college, so.
Yeah, brother, guess what? You won't need college for this one. Not putting college down, people. Not putting college down.
So let's use some examples to for people like me who maybe don't immediately pick it up.
And that's why we have your handy dandy laptop.
Yeah, well, I'm actually looking up the words right now. Okay, so perception is the ability to see, hear, or become aware of something through the senses, the state of being or process of becoming aware of something through the senses. And last one, because I think this is interesting, a way of regarding, understanding, or interpreting something, which is probably the one that I think of, is a mental impression. And it gives an example. Hollywood's perception of the taste of the American public. We need to challenge many popular perceptions of old age. So that's your understanding of something. Now, the other one is perspective.
Right.
And, oh, this is good. All right. So the art of drawing solid no, that's not the right one. We don't want that one. We want a particular attitude toward or way of regarding something, a point of view. And, oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
So your perspective is a point of view. It's kind of like your opinion about something, and your perception, just because I'm totally going to go back because my memory isn't the greatest. Your perception is a way of understanding or interpreting something. It's highly nuanced. I will say that. It's like there seems to be an overlap, but they are two different things.
They are.
Okay. So how do you find that creates problems for people? Pick any.
I don't think it creates a problem for people because the average person doesn't know the difference anyway. So how can a problem be created if you don't know? If ignorance is bliss, right? And you're the main character of your own story, the average person doesn't understand it or know it anyway, or care to know it.
Well, that's
but I feel that more people need
carbon
to.
monoxide, you can't smell it, but it's still a problem.
It's still a problem, but that's why I brought up the topic. I think more people need to understand that carbon monoxide is real.
Got it. Got it.
And it's, you know what, it's fine being the hero in your own story. But it's a big wide world out there. And if we actually started to understand each other more and looked, and you know what they say, walk in someone else's shoes for a second.
Mm-hmm.
All right, maybe we need to start doing that more. Maybe there'd be more understanding and people can understand other cultures and other creeds and religions and races. I think it would help. Again, I'm not a doctor or psychologist, but I think that would help people more open up their minds and their change their attitudes towards the unknown.
So which one, actually, before I ask the question, I want to read this last, it's like a sub definition, whatever. It says, this is for perspective, true understanding of the relative importance of things, a sense of proportion. And in a sentence, they use it like this: we must keep a sense of perspective about what he's done. So it sounds like perspective is kind of coming from a place of non-judgment. It's coming from a place of, there's no bias. It's a place of truth. It's being kind of agnostic, about a situation. And that seems like a less colored view than perception. Perception seems like it might kind of be colored by our biases and things like that. So the question I was going to ask you, which I'm going to kind of answer, is I feel like perspective might be a more useful tool than perception. And I guess that's why you hear people use the phrase, hey, let's put things in the proper perspective. Don't forget, keep things in perspective. You don't hear people say, don't forget now, keep things in perception, right? Because, perception, I like to say perception trumps reality every time. And it seems like perspective is probably more closely aligned with reality. seems like not necessarily so, but more so than perception. And that being a case, I would urge people to always put things in the proper perspective, or we might want to not replace, but we might even substitute context for perspective. You know, it's like keeping things in the proper context will give you the appropriate perspective. I guess that's a better way of saying it. You know, so when I think about, I'm going to go back to having how it can give people, how it can be an issue for people, like not realizing that they have to keep things in perspective is, you know, you could blow something out of proportion. You know, we talk about mental wellness and personal development. You know, a roadblock that people have a lot of times is they don't have the right perspective on something particularly that's happening to them, you know, in their life. And so they may blow it out of proportion and see it as this major roadblock when in reality, it's just like a small, you know, hurdle that they have to get over, go around, go under.
It's a molehill.
You know,
when they say we turn molehills into mountains,
yes.
That's perception. That's perception.
Right. That's perception.
We put our own roadblocks down in our mental roadblocks, not sometimes physical, but mental roadblocks. That's perception.
Yeah.
You know, I see this meme. It's not a meme. It's like a video. They show this kid, probably like 3 or 4 years old, and he's in he's like hanging on to like a rope. I'm not sure if he's like in a pool or the ocean or whatever it may be, but he's crying for dear life. Like, oh my God, I can't swim. Oh my God. And you hear his parents saying, just stand up.
Stand up.
And he's crying. He's holding on to rope. Just stand up. And after about 30 seconds, they're just telling him, please stand up. He stands up finally and realizes that the water is at his like waist. Right. 3-4-year-old kid, the water's at his waist, and he's hanging onto this rope for dear life because he can't swim yet, and he thinks he's going to drown. Meanwhile, you just stand up.
Right. So his perception was that he was in water that was extremely deep because his feet were not touching the bottom of, say, the pool. But, you know, if he put things in the proper perspective, he would realize that he just got into the pool. He was still in the shallow end of the pool, and he was maybe, you know, 2 inches, his feet were maybe 2 inches, you know, above the bottom of the pool. Right. And, you know, I think a lot of times people, we just go back to entrepreneurship, you know, because we're both entrepreneurs, people will see things as being a greater challenge than they actually are. A lot of times just because of ignorance. It's like, you know, there's a process you don't understand. You know, maybe you need to form your LLC and you just don't know what to do. Right. Google it and figure it out pretty quickly. But because you don't have that information, you say, well, this is some insurmountable, you know, issue for me. And so I'm not going to even move forward, you know, or, you know, apply it to any scenario you could possibly think of where it's like, it's not that big of a deal, but you make it a bigger deal.
Correct.
And, you know, I could certainly see the implications for that across relationships, you know, spouses, family. Like, I don't know. I was just thinking just the other day, my wife and I say this a lot. It's like, we don't really have problems, you know, like we're genuinely happily married. We don't have problems. We make problems, you know. It's like, all right.
No, you make problems.
Which way is the toilet paper rolling? You know, is it the waterfall or is it the pool? You know, stuff like that. You know, what are we having for dinner? Oh, you can't pick anything. This is taking too long. Like, we make problems out of nothing. That's perception. But we've laughed so many nights after having an argument or a debate about something and been like, you know what? This is absolutely ridiculous that we're even talking about this. Like, let's put things in the proper perspective here. We're blessed beyond measure. We have no real issues. Maybe we're bored. Maybe we need to go out on a date night.
I think that's what happens a lot with people. Just boredom. Just, you know, let's create
making up problems.
Let's create problems because our life is so boring. All the first world problems we have in this country. Let's create a problem, and run with it. See where it takes us.
People do be bored. That's why you should. This is a good conversation because, you know, we fill in the spaces in our lives with all types of unproductive things. And, you know, if we had the proper perspective, we wouldn't say to ourselves, well, we perceive things as like, we're lacking excitement, we're lacking productivity, we're lacking love, we're lacking joy. And it's like, when you put things in the proper perspective, it's like, no, you are loved. No, you have opportunities to apply effort towards things that you want to achieve. So you're not bored. There's not a lack of productivity, other than like you not doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. Like I was gonna write a post on LinkedIn today that said something like, if you get the opportunity to take a breath, stop and take a breath. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about myself, like I'm just these kids and I'm running and there's so much stuff to do. And I'm like, I just needed to take a breath. And I did. I took like 10 minutes and I was just like, I said, if you were underwater and you came up for air, you would take a breath, wouldn't you? Yeah, you would, because that's oxygen, is life, right? You need to breathe, but you don't take a moment in life to just stop and take a breath, because you don't have the proper perspective on things. Like you need to just be able to hit reset sometimes, to pause and recharge and everything. And you're just like, no, I need to go. And it's like, dog, everything that you're saying, I got to go. It's all going to be there tomorrow. Right. It's going to be there regardless, and most of us, as much as we hate to admit it, we're just not that important that organizations are going to fail without us. You know what I'm saying? Like, despite what your boss might tell you, like, they'll be fine. Everything will be fine. The world's not going to fall apart. Like, don't forget about you. Put things in the proper perspective. Your perception is, I got to do this. I got to stay up late and get up early and do everything. And it's like, no, you don't. No, you
really don't.
Relax. You're not that important. So, yeah, do yourself a favor.
You know what? I actually stayed in bed late today. I'm not going to front. I woke up my regular like 4:45-ish, 4:48. I stayed in bed. It's like 5:35, 5:40, man. And it felt good. Yeah. I know to some people it doesn't sound like a lot, but that extra like 45, 50 minutes, it was nice. It was nice just to lay down, close my eyes again, relax instead of jumping out of bed.
It's huge. You know what I did today?
I just need some energy.
I took my kids to the store today, and I didn't want to do it because it was going to rain. I said, we're going to go run this one errand and we're going to come right back home because it's going to rain and I don't want to be out with the kids in the rain. It's 50-something degrees outside, so it's not like it's terribly cold. We have umbrellas. We have rain boot. I'm like, I had to think about it. I was like, you know what, dude? Your perception, you're blowing this completely out of the water. No pun intended. So what if it's raining on the way back and you have to walk, with the stroller in the rain? Like, who cares, dude? Like that, you're going to stop that. You're going to let that stop you from going to the store and doing whatever it is that you want to do. So we went out and we got wet and everybody lived. We're here to tell this story. I'm here talking to you, Ken. There's no more water on my face. It's like, it's just silly sometimes how we let things stop us,
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the way we were wired. We have to rewire our brains to say, live more. Stop and smell the roses. That's a real thing, man. Stop and smell the roses. I think we talked about this a few episodes ago.
Yeah. So how do we do that? How do we change our...
Just got to do it. You did it. You did it today. You took the kids in the rain, right?
Just do it.
Just do it. Just do it. And I want to go back to a comment you said when you said, we forget to just take a pause. I saw this image, and it was a guy who was like, it was boxers in a ring. Guy was on the floor, and the message was saying, if you ever knock down, take the minute to understand why. And I was like, wait a minute, I had to read it a couple times, right? And it was pretty much trying to get to the gist of it's okay to get knocked down in life, to get knocked down, and this was just showing a match. Boxing match, but if you get knocked out in life, you don't have to jump back up. You don't have to bounce right back up. Stay there for a second. Embrace why you were knocked down, right? Metaphorically. Embrace it, understand it, take note of it, then get back up. So that you can try to fix. So you're right. Take that count so you can actually fix or adjust or shift what you're doing so that when you get back up, all right, that didn't work. Maybe I shouldn't leave my chin open for the uppercut. You know what I'm saying? Like,
who's the idiot that gets up before the 10? Like,
I don't know. People jump up, man. Rest. They get knocked out again. See some of these Tyson fights.
Oh, that's really funny. That's a great analogy. And I guess there really is no secret sauce. You just really have to do it, because the thing is, you have the urge, you have the unction to do the thing. And then your brain says, well, don't do it because of these different reasons, because of perception. So the challenge for everyone is to act upon the initial urge. Just do it. This Nike people, they crushed it with that one. Just do it. Just forget about the perceptions of others, what other people think or whatever. Forget about your perception of the impact if you fail or if you succeed, because some people are afraid of succeeding.
It's facts.
It's like they want to do something, but they don't want to be in the limelight and things like that. Forget about the perception of the cost of it, the sacrifice you have to make. Maybe it's real cost, money that you got to pour into something. You know what I mean? Like, just do it. And I'm telling, Ken, I've been thinking about this a lot, man. It probably has to do with having, more kids and just needing more money, and also like getting older, thinking about legacy. Like, there's a lot of things in the confluence of my life right now where it's like, you really don't have anything to lose. It's a strange thing. As you get older, you become bolder, and you're like, I'm just going to do it. What's the worst case? You ever meet a senior citizen that'll just say something, they're just like, they don't care. It's like, they might die tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? They'll offend you. They don't care. They're just going to say whatever it is on their mind. And we laugh at them or we're shocked by their boldness, but it's like children and old people. They're the two groups that got it together. They're like, what I have to lose? Let's just do it. Who cares? And somewhere in the middle, we let our perceptions of self and everything around us stop us. It's like, no. You need to be either like a 5-year-old or an 85-year-old. Pick one, but that's the mood that you need to have.
You only have to pick one. I'm sorry. There's some days I want to be a 5-year-old. There's other days I'll be an 85.
You want to?
I would have played in the sandbox.
You want to drink chocolate milk and eat fruit roll-ups?
Yo, I had some apple juice this morning with my breakfast. I'm not big into breakfast. I don't eat usually until 11 or 12 o'clock. Just intermittent fasting. Right. And bro, I had like some runny eggs with some bread and avocado and some apple juice, man.
Sounds very adultish to me, especially the runny eggs and avocado. Kids can't afford avocados. They don't have, it's not enough lunch money for that. No, but I feel you, man. Like, and not to get too into the weeds, but you actually raised a really good point. As far as mindset goes, like we kind of need to be a little bit of both, because also somewhere in the middle, we get the creativity of youth stamped out of us. And we lose that, and we just play things way too safe, and we color within the lines. And sometimes it's good to just remember like what it was that you loved to do as a kid, how free it felt to be as a kid, and I think trying to, not saying like trying to chase that freedom or recreate that freedom, that magic, but to try to recreate that freedom and recreate that feeling of magic. Like, there's a certain freedom and joy that comes with just, hey, I'm gonna do it. If I feel it, I'm gonna do it. And, I understand that like you have boundaries and guardrails, like you may have a job where you can't just be like you're like a graphic designer on a job and like you're doing like JP Morgan's account. You can't just like come up with, whatever colors you want. Like literally sometimes you have to color within the lines on your job, but you can also go out on a limb and present that idea that, other people might laugh at. I know from being at creative agencies for a living that those people always get the respect. There are no dumb ideas. The people who are brave enough to speak up and say, I got this crazy idea. Just hear me out. What would you think if we
blase blah? Those
are the people that get promoted. Those are the people, because you gotta take risk. And there's so many people that want to take risk because of, the perceptions of what might happen. So
I think too many people play it safe because they've been knocked down too many times and forget you just need the one.
That one 10 count, get back up.
Get back up. Just need that one. People forget that. What is it the saying? Get back on that horse. If people get back on that horse if they get thrown off, man. It's can get tricky. But what's the worst that's gonna happen? You get thrown off again. How many times I've been thrown off? Only if you knew. Well, you know.
Superman got thrown off one time. That's all it took.
Ouch.
And he went to. That was it.
I was trying not to go there, man. I didn't want to use that perspective.
It's my job. I say what other people are thinking. It's a gift. No curse. Just a gift.
Just a gift. Just like you're a gift. Your presence is a present.
But look, Christopher Reeves still went on to impact the world in a powerful way, even after his accident. If we're going to be literal, talk about getting thrown off the horse and having a fear, like, yes, you could die. You could be severely injured. And you can still make an impact. We watched the, my family puts it on. Was America's Got Talent? What's the thing with Simon Cowell?
Mm.
Thing with Simon Cowell and they have like these guests that come on and they perform and stuff. And
I know who he is. I have no clue what show he's on right now.
Oh, okay, all right, I got it. He's one of them shows. One of those talent shows.
Okay, I know. Yeah, I believe you.
And there's a guy. I don't know what country he's from. I can't remember his name. It's like Mansa Musa or something. Forgive me, Lord. But he's got one of his legs amputated. I think like below the knee or something like that. Mm-hmm. And he's a dancer, bro. The guy's got half a leg. He can get up off the ground faster than I can. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could probably jump higher than I can. Like, he's an incredible dancer. I mean, he literally dances way better than people that have two legs. And it's super inspiring, right? So he had a tragedy. Like, his, one's perception would be like, oh, he can't do anything anymore. His life is over. But that wasn't his perspective. And now he probably won the whole thing by now. I don't know. We haven't watched it in a couple of days. So, like, not to make fun of, people who, like people like Christopher Reeves, like, I'm literally saying, like, even if you fall off of the horse and you're severely injured, like, life goes on. Like, as long as you're not dead, life goes on.
Right.
I hope y'all, I'm looking at the camera. I hope y'all realize that. As long as you're not dead, life goes on. So, literally, man, this is becoming like almost 30 minutes, but, We've all had those days. Well, hopefully this will be like the part we could chop up and put it at the beginning. We've all had those days when we felt like, this is it. Life is over. This problem that I'm having, this thing is so bad. It hurts so much. And he's like, I can't take it anymore. I'm hoping I die, but like, clearly life has reached the nadir. Like, this is the bottom of the bottom. And it's like, no, it's actually okay. Change your perspective. It's actually fine. In the grand scheme of things, you're okay. And here you are years later. And, for some people, it was yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we've all had those days, bro. I know I've had those days. I've had those times when I've called my older brother and I was like, bro, I don't know, man. I don't know how to get through this one, man. I've had those days where I've called God and been like, Lord, if you just get me through this, like, we've all been there. And you made it because you have a 100% success rate of making it through every issue that you've ever had in your life. You always make it through. So as long as you're still living, you can keep pushing,
Beautiful way to wrap that up, man.
Whoever writes this stuff is genius. Genius. What's that?
I was writing on my sheetrock.
Oh, thank you for that topic, man. That was very thought provoking, and certainly hope that everybody takes a moment to shift your perspective and see things in a different light. I hope you see the subscribe button in a new light. Hopefully, it's big and you click it. I'll definitely help out with the channel growth, and share this with somebody on their personal development journey.
Yes, please. Fenton, love you, bro.
Love you too, man. All right. See y'all next week.